E.T. for the Atari 2600 is famous for being one of the worst games ever made, but really, its reputation far surpasses it. This is going to be a short review because there's really nothing to talk about. It's just an Atari 2600 game. They're all very basic as basic can be.
We all know the story. E.T. was a hit at the box office, being one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Atari saw dollar signs and rushed the game out for the Christmas season, and it was a failure of a game. Then the legend started, saying people returned the games due to poor quality, and Atari took them all and buried them in a landfill. This is a gross exaggeration. Atari did dump stuff in a landfill, but it was mainly defective Atari merchandise, not unsold or returned merchandise. And Atari chose that specific landfill because it did not allow scavenging.
If that was true, this game would probably be one of the rarest games out there, but wherever I go that sells retro games, they have a copy of it. And they also like to say that this game caused the video game crash of 1982. However, that too is also an urban legend.
It wasn't E.T. that caused the crash. It was because all of the games being released were oversaturating the market with shovelware, games that were farted out in mass quantities with poor quality. It was basically the more games they make, the more money they make. It wasn't until Nintendo saved the video game industry by having a tight control on games being released.
Is this the worst game ever made? No, it's not. There's certainly worse. And the people who say that this is the worst game ever made are people who have probably never played it, or they just didn't know what they were doing.
First off, it's an Atari 2600 game. Of course it didn't age well. Very few games on any console age well, like maybe 1 in 15. Secondly, Atari games are very simple. It's a joystick with a single button. And lastly, once you know the mechanics of this game, it's not hard. All you need to do is collect a few pieces of a phone home, get to the spaceship, and the game can actually be completed in a few minutes.
There's so many things that people still haven't figured out to this day, and it's astounding that they'd rather remain ignorant and condemn the game than sit down and learn the game's simple mechanics.
First off, you can teleport in the direction when an arrow pops up at the top by pressing the button. You can reveal a phone piece that's hidden in a hole by pressing the button when a question mark pops up. And you can send the humans back to their bases by pressing a button when the Roman numeral 3 pops up. One thing that people cite is the holes. If any part of E.T. touches a hole, he'll fall into it. Hold the button and hold up on the joystick and you'll levitate out of it. When you touch the top of the hole, the screen will change back to the overworld. Immediately let go of the joystick and move either left or right and you won't fall back down.
Was that so hard? No, it wasn't. It was stupid easy.
You're probably going to be asking, what about the humans? And if you've posted a comment about that before I addressed it, I can sense that you're in the process of deleting it now. You can run away from them by holding the button while you're moving. If you're having a hard time dealing with the humans, you're on game 1, which is the hardest game. Switch it to game 3 and the humans won't even be there.
Is this the worst game out there? No, it's not. It's certainly the most mediocre game out there, but it's not the worst. There's far worse games out there. In fact, we're going to be going back to one. Oh yes, we're going back to one to firmly establish that the barrel does indeed have a bottom. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right?